Hello, Asia. Thank you so much for joining this interview. My name is Zishan Askar, and I am working as a Q architect. I have experience in both manual and automation testing. Currently, I am working on Selenium, JMeter, EPM, and Rest Assured. So, this is a brief introduction about myself. Can you please tell us about yourself?
Thank you so much, Zishan. I am Asya Zuhur from Lahore. I am a qualified IT engineer with 7 years of work experience managing all aspects of quality assurance function, from testing a product through scratch to deploy it on production with bug-free and easy-to-use experience for user. I have expertise in web-based and mobile-based application, and I am well versed with testing concepts in black box and gray box testing like smoke, sanity, usability, etc. I am also proficient in SQL queries and do API testing using Postman.
Okay, that's great. So, Asia, can you please tell us about your experience in terms of testing the APIs?
Yeah, actually, we are using Postman for the API testing, and it is a very useful platform for testing APIs. We can easily automate APIs using testing scripts. We have snippets in it, which they are predefined templates of codes, and through which we can easily automate our APIs. Even we can design and mock the APIs. So mainly we can do all type of testing of APIs using Postman platform.
Okay, that's great. So, Asya, let's begin from the very basic questions in this interview. So, can you please tell us what is an API?
API is actually an application programming interface. Through this, two applications can communicate with each other. API actually specify how software components should interact with each other. So APIs through APIs, two applications can communicate. It's the purpose of API. It basically takes the user response to the server, where server process it, and then it takes back the server response to the client. So this is the
Oh,
purpose of APIs.
okay. So, can you please tell me what is the difference between public and private APIs?
Yeah, public APIs are available over the internet, and they can anyone can easily use it and make their own functionalities using those APIs. While private APIs are those which are not available over the internet. These are only specified within within the companies or within the application. These cannot be used by any public user.
Okay. Can you please tell us what is the difference between the REST API and the SOAP API?
SOAP API is single protocol, while REST API is an architectural pattern. SOAP cannot be REST, but REST can be SOAP, and SOAP also. SOAP only support XML format, while REST support multiple format like JSON, XML, etc. Also, through SOAP API, we can send very redundant data, due to which it consume more bandwidth, while REST consume less bandwidth. That's why it's more efficient. And mostly in this industry, we are using REST APIs.
Okay, okay, okay. Uh, can you please tell me what are the different components of the REST API?
Uh, there are many. There are basic components of any API is base URL. Base URL basically define the route or path of APIs where these APIs are stored. Then we have the endpoint. Endpoint basically defines the functions through which API has to perform at the back end. So endpoint basically identifies the functionality. Next we have the body. Body can either be requested parameter or response parameter. These are the information which we send through the APIs to the server, or we can get response from the server. Then there can be headers. Headers, these are the additional information. These are also in requested headers. We have response headers too. Next is method. Method is very important because through these are the action which need to be performed on specific API. So these are the main components of any API.
Okay, that's great. So you talked about some methods with respect to the API. So
Yeah.
can you please tell me what is the difference between put and the patch method?
Okay, put and patch both are used for update purpose, but the major difference between put and patch is put is used to update the whole information of any existing record, while patch is used to update the specific parameter of any existing record.
Okay. You know that we have a lot of statuses coming from the server based on the response we are getting from the server. So let's suppose if you are getting a response from the 400 series. So what
Okay.
this means to you?
400 series response basically represent the client side issues. We have many multiple status codes using 400. If we are getting the 400 response, it means that there is bad request. It can be syntax error or we are using the wrong URL. So these 400 series are usually from the client side issue. And before reporting any 400 series, we have to make sure either we are using the correct URL or not. There can be different type of syntax status code using the 400. Like we have the 404, which usually represent not found, means the URL is correct, but we are searching for such parameter which is not available on the server. So these are only the client side errors.
Okay. Okay, can you please tell me what is collection in the Postman?
Collection of Postman basically when we organize our APIs, we usually store them in a collection. So collection basically for organizing APIs and more structure weight. This is just a collection. When we have the multiple APIs, we can store them in any collection, so we can
Okay.
organize them.
Okay, so let's now consider a one scenario here. Let's suppose you are working on a project and the project has multiple APIs, and these APIs are actually deployed on multiple servers, multiple environments. Maybe they
Mhm.
are deployed on QA, staging, pre-prod, right? And
Mhm.
now you need to switch between the environments while you are working on the Postman. So how can you do that?
We simply define the environment variable. So because the APIs remain same, only the environment change. When I will define on specific environment, like for QA, I can use the snippet code pm.environment.setval. I can use this environment setting variable, and through the environment variable, I can switch between different environments. So the APIs remain same, but I will define each environment for these.
Okay, okay. Let's suppose you are have multiple APIs, and
Mhm.
the challenge here is that if you hit your first API, it will return some parameter, okay, every time a unique parameter, and
Okay.
that unique parameter needs to be passed in the respective upcoming APIs. So
Okay.
the scenario here is that you need to extract a runtime value in the response, and you need to pass that value to the other subsequent requests. So how can you extract a value and pass that value in other APIs?
Okay. There is this is the mainly concept of chaining of API. What I will do, I will run the first API, and through the test, I will extract that ID or whatever unique ID. I will extract that. I will save in a variable, and then this variable will be passed in the next API. So whenever I will execute this. Through runner, because there are multiple APIs. So these will extract from one test of first API. It will extract the unique ID. Then this ID is stored as environment or global variable, and that variable is passed in the second API. So through this chaining concept, I can extract and pass it in the next API.
Okay, so you talked about the snippets, okay, in
Yes.
terms of the test, right?
Yes.
So we have one of the very basic snippet available in the Postman, that
Mhm.
is the to check the status code of the response, right?
Yes.
right? Let's suppose you have a scenario now.
Mm-hmm.
Either it can give you 200,
Okay.
201, or
Mm-hmm.
202. These three are the
Okay.
correct ones. Okay. But by default,
Mm-hmm.
the snippet, you have defined only one value, that is 200. But
Okay.
201 is also correct. 202 is
Okay.
also correct in this particular scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So here, how you can assert this thing, like from the group, either
Mm-hmm.
any of the response you get from the group is correct. How you can assert this one?
There is also one snippet for this pm.response.code. So simply, I will whatever I do pm.expect pm.response.code to be one of or and I will pass in array 202 to 200 201 202. So whenever I will get any of these statuses, it will assert them and it will be true for them.
Okay, that's great. So now let's suppose you need to assert the
Okay.
negative test case. For example, by intentionally you are requesting a server for a
Mhm.
file which is not present on the server. So ideally in this case, the server will say not found or say, and giving the status code
Mhm.
404, right?
Mhm.
But for your test, this test should be passed, okay? Because this is a negative test case. So how can you assert the negative test case in the Postman?
Can you please repeat your question?
Yeah,
I
sure.
am okay.
No problem at all. So
Mhm.
basically, you are now about to test a negative flow,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
And your negative flow is that
Mhm.
you are trying to access a file through the
Mhm.
API which
Mhm.
is not present on the server. So
Okay.
in this case, the server will return 404, okay? Right?
Mhm.
So for you, this 404 is correct, and you need to pass this. Okay. So how can you do that in the Postman?
Um, I'm not sure about it, but I think through data driven we can do as I will pass such file path or whatever through my input that is actually for 404 in my case, but it will return me success because I am passing such path which doesn't exist and I have defined it in my file that it is past one, it is a success case. So through data driven I think we
Okay.
can do this. I'm not sure
Okay.
about it.
Okay. No problem at all.
Hmm.
So can you please tell me what is the difference between the local variable and the data variable?
A local variable scope is within the request. Like I in any test, I define any variable that is the local one. While data variable, these variables comes from the external file, which is a CSV file or JSON file. Those variable defined in the external file are data variables.
Okay, that's great. Okay, let's suppose you want to run your collection for like
Okay.
3 times. How can you
Okay.
do that?
Through runner, I can do that because through runner we can specify the sequence of the APIs, also the iteration, and
Okay,
we
that's
can
great. Yeah. Yeah, please go on.
just I think that's the answer. We can define the iteration there through the
Okay.
runner and the sequence
Okay,
also.
okay, okay. Okay, so now let's suppose you are trying to extract some value, okay?
Okay.
And you need to ensure that either you are getting a proper value or not. So how can you do that while writing your scripts?
Means I am extracting something and I'm not sure about that whether I'm getting
Yeah,
right one or not.
yeah. So basically, you want to debug your script. So how can you do that? For example, you want to extract a value from one API and you need to save this to a particular variable, right?
Mhm.
Now you need to check either you are getting a proper value in that
Console
particular variable or not. Yeah.
For any type of debugging, we can use the simple function console.log and I will pass
Uh,
the value in. So I can check through console whether it is a correct value or not. Then I will pass it as it is through the scripting to another API or
mhm.
anything else. So I
Okay.
think console.log will be used for debugging purpose.
Okay, that's great. So that's all from my side, Asi, in terms of the interview. So, do you have any questions for me?
Hello.
Yeah. So, what I was saying is that that's all from my side in terms of the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I don't have any question.
Okay, Asia, then thank you so much, and best of luck for this interview.
Thank you so much, Ishan.
Thank you.